Hello and welcome everyone to this new video. So as discussed in our previous video, we talked about the differences between implicit wait and explicit wait in detail. So just to summarize, implicit waits are a global wait and explicit waits can be used for a certain element at a certain time. And in this video, we are going to talk about how to implement explicit wait in our code. And let me tell you, if anyone asks you that whether you want to use an implicit wait or an explicit wait, your answer should be always to use an explicit wait. And I have explained the reason why in the previous video. Right now, in this video, I'm going to show you how to use it in our code directly. So if you remember, these are the feature file that we were working on. So we are opening the URL, we entered the username, we entered the password, we clicked login, and then we verified if we are on the home page or not. Okay, and this was our step definition. In step definition, if you remember what we did, we used thread.sleep, which is totally incorrect. We just did it for our testing purpose. This should not be the case how you can use waits. So let's start implementing explicit waits instead of thread.sleep. Okay, so to implement explicit wait, first of all, let's do one thing. Let's remove all of this thread.sleep, and wherever we had thread.sleep, we will substitute with our explicit wait. Okay, cool. So in our Java file, I will create a new package and I will create a utils folder. Okay, I will tell you why I am creating this util folder. Ideally, if you want to remove this, okay, and if you want to use explicit wait over here, what you exactly need to do, you need to define a WebDriver wait. Okay, and you need to define a variable called wait, which will be is equal to new WebDriver wait. And ideally what you do, you pass the driver over here. Okay, you pass the driver over here, and then you pass the number of seconds. So duration dot off, and you pass the number of seconds. Okay, ideally you do this, and then what you do, you will do wait dot, okay, wait dot until, and then you can put this inside your until function. Okay, so this is one of the way that you can implement explicit wait, but this is not suggested way how you should implement explicit way, because with this way the code looks very cluttered. Okay, and your code will not be maintainable. So what I would suggest, that let's create a separate class, let's create a separate util file. Okay, and let's, in that util file, we will define our wait and everything, and then we will call that wait over here. I will show you how we are doing that. So as I have created this utils, I'll create a new Java class, and probably I will name this as wait utils. Okay, so I will define the entire explicit wait over here. All the configuration and everything will be done over here, so that in future if anybody wants to come and wants to change the number of seconds or wants to change anything on how the configuration of explicit waits are defined, he or she can come directly here and can change the configuration, rather than going to your step definition file and changing it in every function. That is really a tedious task, and that is not even recommended. So that is the only reason that we are implementing this explicit wait in a separate class. All right, so as I told you, what do we need? We need a WebDriverWait, right? And we will name it as WebDriverWait. And we will need one more thing, which is the WebDriver, right? So that we can get the session. So WebDriver driver. Okay, So if you remember, why do we need the WebDriver? I will tell you why do we need, but it is the same WebDriver that we are using across all of our classes, so that we get that Chrome session in which our website is currently open. So that will be fetched by WebDriver. Okay, so I come here. So right now you can see I have defined this and this, but I have not initialized the value of this particular variable. So let's initialize it. And as you all know, one of a very good way to initialize a variable is through a constructor. So probably we will create a constructor, public wait utils. Okay. And in this wait utils, I will get a WebDriver. Okay. So what does it mean? It means that whenever this class will be called, wait utils, whenever I call this class or whenever I create the object of this class, this constructor will be called, and whenever I create the object will be object of this class, I will pass a driver. So if I create the object of this class over here where I want to use it, okay, what I will do, I will pass the driver from here so that we get the driver here, and then we set this driver to this dot driver is equal to driver. So what we are doing, we are setting this driver to this driver that we are getting, and then we need to set this variable as well, WebDriverWait. So WebDriverWait, this is equal to, I will create a new WebDriverWait, right? We need to create a new WebDriverWait, and we need to pass the driver over here and duration dot of second. So how much the maximum timeout, at what time I want to have a timeout. Okay, so let's put the timeout to be 10 seconds, and that's it. We are done. Now we need to create two functions so that we can use it. A getter function, right? Obviously, when you initialize this over here, you just initialize it, right? But to use the WebDriverWait, you need to have a getter function. So let's create getter function. So public web element, I will probably have a return type of web element. I will say wait for visibility. Okay, so I will probably create two different type of functions. One is wait for visibility. So if at all I want to wait for an element to be visible, I will use this function. And one I will create public web element wait for clickable. So if at all I want to wait for the element to be clickable, I will use this function. And if I want to wait the element for just to be visible, I will use this function. And what we will return here, we will return wait dot until. You can see wait dot until, and we can use this function. And inside this, we will say expected conditions. This class is from Selenium dot visibility of elements. Okay, and then inside this we will pass the element. So we can take an input as well over here. We can say web element. Okay, so whatever web element will be passed, that I am setting it here, and I am waiting for the visibility of that element, and that's it. That is all we need to return. So we will basically return that web element after it is visible. Same thing we will need to do it over here. We will need to return wait dot until. Okay, and similarly expected conditions dot, now I need clickable function. So I will say element to be clickable. All right, this is the one I need, and I will say element. And over here I will also get a web element, and I will say element, and that's it. You just need a semicolon, and our wait util class is now fully constructed. Now I want to call this class in my step definition file. So let's quickly call it. Let me define this variable first of all. Probably I'll define it over here, or not here. I'll define it here. Private. Let's define it as private wait utils, and I'll just say wait utils. All right. And now let's set this variable as well. So to set this variable, we need the constructor. This is our constructor, and inside this constructor, I will say wait utils is equal to, let's initialize new wait utils, and we need to pass the WebDriver. So you can see if we come here, we just have this constructor which we have just initialized over here. And right now I need to pass the WebDriver. So we already have the driver in our constructor. You can see this is our driver which we set it over here. This is the WebDriver driver. All right. So let's just pass this driver, and that is all we need to do. Now we are good to go, and now we can use it wherever we want. Now instead of doing driver.findElement, and instead of passing this like this, what I will do, I would rather do, let's comment this out. So now instead of doing this line, I would rather do that wait utils dot. Now I have to, you can see I am sending the keys, right? If I'm sending the keys, I need it to be visible first of all. So wait.utils, wait for visibility, and then inside this, the element I need to wait for visibility is the username, and then simply dot send keys and this user name. So now you can see the difference, why there is an error. Okay, so they require a web element and I am passing a string. Alright, I think this is expecting string and web element. So let's quickly modify some of the things in our web utils class. So let's come here. So now instead of expecting web element, since what do we have? We have basically username xpath as by, right? So first of all, this should not be username. This should be username xpath, right? If you just compare this with username xpath, this should be username xpath where I am sending username. But still it will show an error because it is expecting a web element, but I am providing a by. So we will modify this and we will say here by, and we will say let's import this class, and we will say locator. Okay, or you can just say element, not a problem. And now this throws an error, required type web element, and we are providing a by. So what we can do, we can just modify this to ExpectedConditions dot visibility of element located. So you can see we have one function which accepts a web element, and we have another function which accepts a locator. So now since we are passing a locator, we will use this function which accepts a locator. So visibility of element located by locator. And now if you pass element, this will surely work. And now let's just change it. And for a better naming convention, let's name this to locator, and let's also name this to locator. And now let's come here and let's modify this. Let's name it as by, and here we'll say locator, and instead of this we will pass expected conditions dot visibility of element located, and we will pass locator, and that is all we need to do. So we have done wait for visibility. Now let's come here. Now this is accepted totally. So now let's remove this line, so we don't need this. we have already implemented explicit wait over here, and let's quickly implement this wait in the other elements as well. So we will come here and we will say wait utils dot wait for visibility and password xpath. We will say dot send keys and we will say password. So we have replaced this line as well. Now user submit. So we can replace this user submit as well. Let's remove this. So since this is a click, so we will say wait utils dot wait for visibility submit xpath dot click, and now this is displayed. So this was for visibility, sorry, this should not be for visibility, this should be for clickable. If you see, we have created two different functions, one is for clickable and one is for visibility. So you can see that this user submit button is a clickable button. So instead of visibility, we will say wait for clickable. Ideally visibility will also work, but just to be more precise with your code, you can use clickable. And let's remove this, and you will say wait utils dot wait for visibility, and we will say avatar icon xpath dot is displayed. Okay, and that is it. So we have done this as well, and that's all. Now let's try to run this program. So let's quickly click on this play button. You can see it's running. The Chrome browser has been invoked. The demo website is also open. Admin is type, password is type, and then user clicks on login as well. It is now loaded, and avatar icon also loaded, and our all the test is now pass. So now you see the difference between the explicit wait and the thread.sleep. Okay, ideally I'm not explaining you implicit wait because we are not using it in production, and it's not recommended also to use it in production. So this is all for this video, and in the next video I'm going to talk about fluent wait. So I'll see you in the next video. Until then, bye bye, take care. If you have liked the video, consider liking this and subscribing to the channel so that you receive the update of more videos.